Welcome to Meet the Bloggers. I'm your host, Huger. We got another great show ahead for you today. In fact, we have an update for you. The update is on our Send Rove to Jail campaign, which we did last week. Guess what? It worked. Actually, we did that 2 weeks ago. And we sent 127,000 signatures over to the House Judiciary Committee to Representative Linda Sanchez. And the committee held a vote. And 20 to 14, they recommended to the full House to actually send the contempt of Congress charge to the full House. And there we only need a simple majority. So we'll keep you updated on that as things go along. Now, in today's show, we've got a great guest co-host with me who's going to interview Rachel Maddow with us. It's David Dayan. David blogs at D-Day, which is dday.blogspot.com, Digby's Hullabaloo at Calitix.com, which covers California issues. And he's also been featured in the Washington Post and the Wall Street Journal, and also appeared on Air America Radio. Welcome, David. How are you?
Thank you. Great to be here.
Well, it's great to have you. And today we're going to discuss this whole issue of Afghanistan and to some degree Pakistan. Obama has said he's going to take troops out of Iraq and move some of them to Afghanistan, and that's caused quite a stir.
Right. Well, I mean, this is nothing new, you know. I mean, this has been sort of core Democratic policy, you know, since John Kerry back in 2004. But of course, the circumstances have changed in Afghanistan quite a bit since then. So
that's absolutely true. So let's talk about those circumstances with Rachel Maddow, who is host of her own show on Air America, of course. Rachel, how are you?
Cenk, I'm great. Thank you for having me. This is a very fancy setup you've got here.
Oh, please. We try. By the way, I like your intro here. It says, according to your website, she shakes a mean cocktail, drives a bright red pickup, which you share with Fred Thompson, by the way, hates Coldplay, loves arguing with conservatives, spends a lot of money on Amtrak tickets, and dresses like a first grader. Something to be proud
of. Fair enough. You know, I should say that I own my truck, whereas I think that Fred Thompson's campaign owned his.
That's absolutely true. In fact, he would drive with his own fancy car to the pickup truck, and then they would go to the campaign stops in it. So,
forklift, yeah.
Rachel, let's talk about Afghanistan. Now, Barack Obama said he's going to move in about 3 brigades, U.S. brigades, into Afghanistan. This has a political and a policy perspective on this issue. And I want to do mainly policy, but at first I got to ask you a quick political question. Is it a smart move by Barack Obama? Does he have to, in this day and age, in this political climate, say, I'm a tough guy and I'm going to send in more brigades to Afghanistan?
He has to do it politically under last year's political climate. What I was all excited about in national security politics was that I felt like Barack Obama had made 2008 the year when Democratic politicians, high-level Democratic politicians, stopped aping Republicans on national security and started talking about reframing the debates around national security in a way that didn't dumb everything down to a, us big thumper, you target sort of brass tacks level. And I think that Obama has been really, really smart in the way that he's talked about fighting terrorism generally, in the way that he's talked about, to a certain extent, Iraq. But on Afghanistan, we've heard kind of one note from him, and it is this idea we need to send more troops. And that's, frankly, that is kind of playing John Kerry-level politics. There's nothing wrong with Senator Kerry, but I was hoping that Obama was going to realize that it hasn't worked for Democrats to just try to sound like Republicans. What's working for Obama so far is when he sounds smarter than the other side.
Right. And Rachel, it seems to me that it's a pretty simplistic message. It says we have to go to Afghanistan to fight the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. But I think it's an open question of who we're actually fighting over there. You know, I mean, we heard in the New York Times today that the Pakistani intelligence service, the spy service, the ISI, was actually helping militants inside Afghanistan to bomb the Indian embassy. I mean, who are we really fighting over there? Is it the Taliban? Is it Al-Qaeda? Is it just angry Pashtuns who've been bombed for 6 years? I mean, do you have a sense of that?
Well, I mean, something like, I was reading today, looking into sort of the smartest commentary that I can find on this, what people who've recently visited Afghanistan are trying to make the case, and what they're citing as relevant facts. And one of the things that I think it's important to keep in mind about Afghanistan is that something like 68% of the population has never known a time when there wasn't war. They are a country that has been fought over and fought under for generations. And so I think Obama rightly talks about the American need, the American national security imperative that we don't allow Afghanistan to become a place where people can project from which people can project force against us. We can't allow Afghanistan, or frankly anywhere in the world, to become a place where something like 9/11 could be plotted and launched from. So that I believe is absolutely true. But there's a big leap that you have to make that I don't feel like I've made with him from that assertion to let's send more troops.